So this assignment is especially important to me because I don't think that there are very many math concepts um, other than this one that are really going to apply to you um, in your everyday life outside of the building. So there might be things that you need to know because they help you be better problem solvers, or maybe you will go into a certain business that requires it. But for the most part, this finding the percentage of something is something that you need to know. It has to do with tips, it has to do with sales, it has to do with commission, whatever you can think of, there's probably some sort of deal with percentages. They're in the news all the time, so you need to know about them, okay? So here's how it works, okay? If we're talking about, let's say, a sale, okay, and you have something that is $70 and it's 50% off. So it's 50% off of $70. Now this is a pretty easy example. That's the same as half of $70, which you might know off the top of your head is just the same as dividing by 2, which means that the item is going to be $35. Okay? So basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be thinking of the relationship between percentage of a whole equals a part of that number. So in other words, let's say we're doing a tip and you wanted to leave a 10% tip for a bill that is, let's say maybe you went out to eat and it was $98, okay? Let's, instead of 4, a lot of times when we're doing the percentage of a whole amount, we're going to say of. So we're looking for a part of $98, which is 10%, okay? And so what I want you to write at the top of your paper here is you're always going to have this relationship. You're going to have a multiplication. You're going to have your percent multiplied. You'll usually see the word of when you need to multiply, and then you're going to have your whole amount here, and then you're going to have your part over here as your answer. Okay, so if I'm trying to find 10% of 98, obviously I'm not going to multiply 10 times 98 because that would get me 980, which is not small enough. Obviously, if I'm trying to find a 10% tip, I need a small number. So what you're actually going to do is convert this to a decimal. So that'd be 0.1. If you forgot how to do this, percentage to decimal, you just take the number and you move the decimal 2 times to the left and then drop any extra zeros at the end. Okay? Multiplied by the whole amount is 98 this time, and then I'm going to get my part by doing 0.1 times 98. So that would be 9.8. So you'd leave on a $98 bill, if you wanted to leave a 10% tip, you'd leave $9.80. You'd add that onto your total, okay? Now sometimes they're going to give you different parts. They're not going to always give you the percent and the whole and ask you to find the part. So maybe they'll say, maybe you don't know the percent. So they'll say like, what percent, meaning they're asking you to figure out the percent of 70 is 10, okay? So what they're asking you is, what percentage are you going to take of the number 70 to get 10? So to set that up, I would have my percentage that I don't know multiplied by 70 that equals 10. So in other words, I have this equation, 70x equals 10. 70 times some number that we don't know equals 10. So knowing from what we do about equations, that means I'm going to divide by 70. 10 divided by 70 is about 0.14, which means 14%. Okay? So you're going to set up this equation every time. You're going to leave one of the spots blank based on what they're asking you. So another situation that they might ask you about is maybe something like, okay, so this one I'm looking off your homework to get an example here. This is going to be maybe your toughest one that you're figuring out. So they might say something like this. This is kind of like number 9 on your assignment, okay? They'll say something like 100 is 17% of what? So what they're saying is, you know the percent, so if I'm filling in my answers here, 17%, I'm going to put 0.17, okay? And 100 is the answer to 70% of what? So this is the part that we don't know this time. And 100 is our answer. So we'll have 0.17 times x equals 100. So this time we're going to divide by 0.17. And we'll do 100 divided by 0.17. And I'll get about 588. And actually on your homework when I'm looking, I think it says to round to 2 decimal points. So 0.24, since that's a 5, I'm going to round that up to a 4. Okay? So go ahead and give that homework a try. Let me know, or your study hall teacher or whoever is supporting you know if you need help.